engineering also, you are going to learn UML diagram. Okay, but we are going to go another way of approach using mathematics. Okay, so means that you can have different approach on how to solve the problem. Okay, so that is actually what is this course all about. You are going to go for a different approach, okay, to analyze the system and to do refinement on it. Okay, but of course, the learning outcome for this one, we are going to have 3 learning outcomes. Okay, the first one is actually about something like theory. Means that you have to know how to do this, how to do that. Okay, it's like reading, it's like theory based. Even though you do it using formal method later, but you have to know what is the term for it. So because if you previously refer, let's say you have time to refer to the past year questions and so on, there are some theory questions inside that. So CLO1 is actually to talk about this principle, whatever, about formal method. Okay, so CLO1 will be assessed in your test and also in your exam. Okay, so CLO1. CLO2 is actually later you are going to use formal method. We are going to go for Z specification language. There is a language for it, so we are going to use Z. We are not going to use a lot, we are going to use one only, Z language. Okay, we are going to analyze the system and design the system. Okay, software requirement engineering, design using UML. Here you are going to design using Z language. Okay, using discrete maths, logic, and so on. So also this one you will see in your test and also in your final exam. Means that in the final exam, normally if you have referred to the past year questions and so on, there will be a scenario given to you. From this scenario, then you write down the design using Z language and so on. Okay, complete the writing. Okay. So the third learning outcome will be related to your proposed system. So this one will be about the assignment. We are going to do this in the assignment part. Okay, means that you choose your team members, 4 to 5 members per team. Okay, and then after that you are going to choose system. The system can be the same as your software requirement engineering. No need to be different system, can be the same. So from this system, because you are designing different things. One is UML, one is using discrete structure. So doesn't matter. You can have the same assignment title. Okay? And then you are going to choose module and so on. Then from here, you are during the practical session, I will look at your progress. Okay? Means that from the progress, actually I am assessing you also, even though not directly stating that, but in the assignment rubric later, I will show you there is about self-reflection, where this one also a part of me assessing you doing. Okay, so this is the CLO3 will be related to the assignment. Okay, to the assignment. So these are actually the topics. You can also access to the course plan. I already put in the Google Classroom course plan. You can refer to that also. Okay, and then these are actually the reference. Okay, for your course. Okay, but even though these are actually how to say updated a year like 2021, 2020 is like new books. But my suggestion still, I prefer you to go for the old book. Because sometimes the old book explain you a lot rather than the new books. Because new books is like continuation. So I would suggest you if you go to the library or browse internet and so on, okay, fine. There will be a lot of old books there, so you can refer to them. Okay, so these are actually some of the books that you can also refer for when you want to do the assignment later. Okay, so the assessment for this course. Of course, there will be test and exam and also assignment. So your test will be on week 6. Okay, week 6, 1 week before the end of semester, week 6. So because week 6 is Monday is our holiday, Christmas. So your test will be inside another lecture time, means on Wednesday, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's Wednesday. So it's either 27 or 28. I have to check again. Okay, so your test will I see your timetable, a lot of your class, no free time. It's like some of you free, some of it's not free. I cannot find exact time. Unless you want to go for 5 to 7 in the evening replacement. Or another one, maybe I just do online replacement class Okay, so for online replacement class, I will do 8 to 10. Okay, I will not do earlier. But if let's say, I will see again the timetable because sometimes there may be some changes wherever. So I will see your timetable again before we will do replacement class. I will talk to you again about this. Okay, so your test will be on week 6. Okay, where this is giving you 40% of your total coursework marks. Assuming the 100% coursework mark, 40% comes from your test, 60% from your assignment. Assignment submission will be on the 2nd January 2024. Okay, week 7, I cannot ask you to submit by Friday because I have to do marking and so on. So it will be on Monday, Tuesday, 2nd January 2024 after New Year. Means during your New Year, I think you have to do some work Okay, can go for like New Year, whatever for a while. After that, you have to continue, finish up your assignment. But of course, your assignment is weekly basis. So means that you are going to start from beginning. So at the end of week 6, should finish already all your marks for the assignment. Okay, Exam, of course, is actually after our semester. Week 7, there will be exam. So exam question will be 4 questions. Okay, and then this one consists of theory and also Z language. Okay, so there will be 4 questions. 25 marks for each question. And then 40%, because 60% for the coursework, 40% for the final exam. Okay. So for those who have not joined in, here also I give the code, but actually I think 51 students, I already invited all of you into the Google Classroom. Okay, into the Google Classroom. So now, before we proceed, so in the Google Classroom, okay, in the Google Classroom, I have given to you slides. Okay, so actually there are one extra chapter 6 here that I didn't include. Okay, because maybe this I haven't set the question. So most probably because your short semester, I will not include that chapter in the final exam. Okay, so that's why I put only up to chapter 5. Okay, so because short semester very packed. Okay, so I may not include that chapter in the final exam. Okay, so there will be up to here 5 chapters only Okay, and then maybe by end of the semester we will do a lot of partial questions and so on. Okay, rather than I add one more chapter for you to with which are not included in the final exam. Okay, so I will do a lot of partial questions discussion. Okay, tutorial, of course, you will see I put 14 tutorial, but because your tutorial class will be like 2 hours combined together. So it means that 1 week, 2 tutorial, means tutorial 1 and tutorial 2, 3 and 4 and so on. Not 1 by 1, means that 2 tutorial per week because we have double the workload. So it means that here I put 14 because it should be 14 tutorial. So what you are going to do during the tutorial session, tutorial 1, first week means 1 and 2. Second week, 3 and 4 and so on. But of course this tutorial, maybe we cannot discuss all the questions. So I hope that you can try to do this before you go for the tutorial class. Okay, and then maybe some questions will be actually asked, not discussed, but you have to do that on your own. Then maybe you can show to me or whatever. If let's say you are under Miss Maslinda, then you can show to her the answer and so on. Okay, because there may be some parts that we are not going to discuss everything. Okay, so these are the tutorial questions that you can download from the Google Classroom. Okay, another one here, reference material. Inside here also I put some of the e-books for you to refer. Okay, so some of the e-books that you want to refer. your discrete maths. Okay, so you will have your logic, set, or set theory and so on. So if you still cannot remember what you have learned previously, maybe you have to do some revision related to discrete maths. Okay, so you are going to have something like this. Of course, gradually I will teach you how to do all those things. And then you will have symbols like this, subset and so on. Okay, and then later you will have something like this inside your assignment. Yeah, so all these are actually you will understand later. Okay, because in the lecture I will explain to you what does each of the symbol means. Of course, for your assignment you have to do that on your own, but you have to understand the statement means. Okay, so these are actually example of things that you may produce later. Okay, in your assignment. Yeah, all these related to mathematics. But I am not mathematics lecturer. I am software engineering lecturer. So meaning that this course, okay, is not mathematics. This is designing, analyze and design the system. It's software engineering. Just that we use different approach using mathematical notation. That's all. But it's actually analyze and design the system as a software engineering should know, okay, but using different approach. That's all. Okay, so you can refer to this to get an idea, okay. But of course, for first day, I think all of you will like, what is this? So I have also another case too. Just now, you can refer also in your Google Classroom. It's similar, different scenario, different ways. So that's why for how to say for this one you can do you can refer. Okay, you can. Okay. Then the next one is okay. There are books also, but I want you to have a look at the Z glossary also in the Google Classroom. Okay, so these are the symbols that you have to remember. This one will not be given to you during your test or during your exam. So you have to remember the symbols. Okay, you have to remember the symbol. So most of the symbols will be used in your assignment, in your test, and in your exam. Most of it. I didn't say all, because it's up to the question. Okay? Most of the symbol will be used in your test, in your assignment, or in your final. So, but of course, all these symbols will be explained during lecture. So during lecture, I will explain to you what is, of course, less than, minus, less than, all this you have already know. But something like sequence, all these things, so I will explain during the lecture. Okay, so how to use it and so on. Okay, but we are not going to use all, but some of it will not be explained, but most of it will be used in your test, assignment, or final. Yeah? So you can refer to this for your reference later. When you want to do something, you can refer to this Z glossary. Okay. Inside your Google Classroom also, I give one of the books, discrete maths books. Okay. So you can also refer, this is actually the reference. Okay, so you can refer to this. Okay. If let's say you have problem with your notation and so on, you can refer back to the discrete maths books here. Given to you also in the Google Classroom. Okay, let me see back here. Discrete maths. Or here. This one, same thing, discrete maths. Okay? And one of old book, okay, one of the old book that I would suggest you to refer also in the Google Classroom is The Way of Z. Okay? The Way of Z here is actually not how to say, not a new book, not a new book, but it's a good book for you to refer because you are just started to learn Z. Okay, Z language. So it's a good book for you to look into this. Okay, because you will find other books in the library. There are hard copy in the library if you want to look at this. Okay, but the way of Z is one of a good book for you to refer also. Okay, it's an old book, but it's a good book for you to understand Z language. Okay, so it's 1997. Okay, old book, very old book, but it's a very good to explain what is Z language for you and how to start with your Z and so on. Okay, so that is actually about the reference material. Okay, so you can refer to this for your reference material. So now, one more thing that I already put also in the Google Classroom, I just added today, okay, is the assignment. Okay. See ya. Okay. The assignment, as I told you just now, we are going to assess the learning outcome number 3, where this one is about personal skill. Means that from your knowledge, maybe your knowledge from software engineering and so on, you have to actually find a good idea, a good system, okay, that you want to actually update, or from the manual system you want to propose online, whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, and then you have to actually provide a very good requirements and so on. Okay, so we are going to assess CLO3 for this one. Okay, so as I told you just now also, the submission is on the 2nd day of the new year there. Okay, so 2nd of January 2024. This is week 7. Okay, and then here also I inform you late submission. And so I think everybody know about this already, so I will not explain a lot about this. Okay, but for EMC, for the late submission now, there is a form. There is a form that you have to fill up, so you can refer to Appendix C here. Okay, this one you can find from the intranet also this form where you have to actually use this one. Okay, if for late submission for late submission. Okay. So what you have to do for the assignment, okay, this is the submission, soft copy in PDF, okay. So what you have to do is you have to find the team members, 4 or 5 team members, okay, and then after you choose, don't change, must be from the same group. Means that if you are tutorial group 1, so all the team members must be from the same group, not group 1 combined with 2 or 3 and so on. No, must be from the same group. Okay, so after you choose your team members, you cannot change. Next week change another member, next week change, and then after that you cannot finish your assignment. Okay, because the first week already, when you have the team members, we are going to start already with our assignment discussion. Okay, because this short semester we have to start already. Okay, and then the system that you are going to choose, the title can be the same as your software requirement engineering course. Okay, you can choose manual system that you want to improve as the web-based application. So whatever, doesn't matter as long as you provide a system. Okay, and then for the group means that let's say tutorial group 1, all the title cannot be the same. If let's say you have 3 groups inside there, these 3 titles cannot be the same. Okay, if possible, if you know other group 2, group 3, if possible, not the same also lah. But for that one, we still okay lah. Just that for same group, you cannot have the same title. And one of the title that I don't want you to choose is library system, because later I will give you example of library system on how to proceed, how to show, or how to make it similar, okay, or how to look, how your system will look like for your assignment. So I will give you example of a library system. So your title cannot be library system. And if possible, because I've seen many like food ordering all those things, if possible, try to find something else. Okay? Because I've seen a lot of food ordering system. If possible, try not to choose food ordering. Okay? If you really cannot find, then it's okay lah. Just that if possible, try to find other topics for your assignment. later. As this is a short semester, last time if you refer to your senior, there will be a presentation. Because this is short semester, you will not have any presentation at all. So means that you submit on the second, whatever your submission, that is the one that Miss Mazlinda and I will mark your assignment. No presentation. Okay, because very short. So I don't think we have time to do presentation. Okay. So these are actually what we are going to do during the practical session. Practical session is the assignment guidelines. Means that we are going to guide you on how to do assignment during practical session. Yeah. So that's why during practical session we will actually assess whether you do your work or not Even though we didn't put the marks straight away, but when you submit your assignment report, your marks will be given accordingly. Okay? Because there will be here, parts here, self-reflection, conclusion here. So the marks here is actually together with weekly assess. Okay? Means that whatever the marks here is actually when we assess it through weekly, during practical, and also what you write in the final. Okay? So there will be 7 weeks here. You will have every week you have work to do. So meaning that by week 7 is your submission of the assignment. Okay? Also, if I can finish marking everything, make good will also be by week 7. Most probably by Friday Okay, but if cannot, means another week. Okay, another week, maybe Monday or Tuesday Because submission I have to submit by Wednesday another week. So if I cannot finish on time, because short sem so I cannot promise you that I can finish on time. So if I can finish on time and if Miss Mazlinda can finish on time, we will actually try to do make good by week 7 Friday. If cannot, means Monday or Tuesday another week. So I hope that you don't go back for your holiday or before your final exam because we may have make good. Okay? So that is actually what you have to do. Okay, so these are the marks. Okay, these are the marks. Yeah, so you can see here the parts here. There will be individual parts. When you see asterisk here, this is individual part. Means that even though one of your friend lazy to do that, but he will lose his mark because he didn't do. So only the parts here, introduction, I cannot ask you each of you to do introduction. Introduction is a general for your title. So it will be group marks, requirement also, group marks, okay, and also these 3 A, B, C here. Most of it will be individual part. A lot of marks come from individual, okay, and then reference and appendix, I don't think I can make it as individual because you will refer to similar documents and so on. And then as a final documentation, how you as a team produce your report will be as a group work also, group marks also. Okay? But D until G here will be individual parts. So it means that whatever that you do, if you are lazy to do, you don't feel like just cincai do, that is your marks. It won't affect your team works. Okay? So this one is actually the marks. So you'll see here, I didn't put any presentation marks. So from these marks here, if you refer to the rubrics from the Google Classroom, okay, rubrics from the Google Classroom, you can see very small Okay, when you see, you can refer later in the Google Classroom So when you see here the marks, I will do 1 to 5 scale here. Scale But you see just now 20 marks, 15 marks So let's say you get 4, then I will, if let's say the total mark it should be 15, so I will times this 3. You understand? So it means that my assessment here is 1 to 5. Okay? But because if let's say I do 50 to 70, which one? So we will do 1 to 5, okay, and then we times with 3, times with 4, or whatever, to make it 20 marks. If let's say you get 5, then times 4, 20 marks. Okay, so you can refer to the rubrics here in the Google Classroom. So I put 2 marks here. This is in terms of individual parts, 5 marks only, and then these are the total marks from the assignment just now. So it means that if let's say you get, let's say yours here is actually 4 marks, so maximum 20 means times 4. So 4 times 4, 4 times 4, 60 marks here. Okay, so that is the total marks here. So later, this rubric, make sure that you write down the name and what are the modules that you're going to use for your submission. Okay, and one more thing that I forgot, because there is no presentation this time. Okay, what I need is actually when you go for this Form 2, Appendix A here, Form 2, I put one more column here, your picture, for me to remember you. Because sometimes we remember you in the class, but when it comes to the name, to report, I can't remember. So when you put your picture here, then we know. Oh, okay, this is you. So we know when we give you the marks, this is accordingly. Understand? Yeah, so make sure that you put your picture here in the this one, plagiarism, whatever. The first page for the marks. So this one is okay that you put the picture. But here, the second for the plagiarism, put your profile picture lah. Okay, put profile picture. Make sure that we see your face Now profile picture sebelah saja and also we cannot see your face. Okay, make sure that you put the profile picture. Yeah, so this is about your assignment. Any question about this? Yeah? Any question at here? No, So all this is actually you can refer, and then also I already put here for the submission, assignment submission on the 2nd of January here. Okay, so when you submit, when you have a team member later, choose one team leader. Okay, choose one team leader so that when you submit the assignment later, put the team leader name only. No need to put the whole team member's name, no need. Just put the team leader name only. Okay, so choose one team leader here. So maybe later also, I will add one more link to Google Sheets, whatever, for you to put down who are your team members, what are the titles and so on. But here I didn't put yet. Okay, so this is actually about the Google Classroom. Okay, and attendance, this one, if you have not signed the attendance, your attendance here. So for the first class here, I want to go to chapter 1. Chapter 1 is theory question, theory chapter, introduction. But it's a long chapter also, a lot of reading that you have to do for your chapter 1. Theory, So any question before we proceed to this one? Oh, you want to take a few minutes break? Okay, I will take a few minutes break. For those who have not signed the attendance, this is your code, 804077. Okay, we take 5 minutes break, Then after that we will start with chapter 1. On our next lecture is when? Let me see. No, Thursday. So means that your test will be week 6, 28. Your written test will be on the 28th of December. Yeah, take note of that. I will also put the notice in the announcement in the Google Classroom about your written test. Yeah, so your test will be on the 28th to the 6th. Your 25th is a holiday. I will replace this on other time, but mostly if online, I cannot give test to this one unless I can find see lah. But for now, I will put 28 as your written test. Okay, easier lah 28 lah. Just go for 28. Okay, 28 December. During your lecture. Okay, so we take a few minutes break, and after that I will continue with chapter 1. Any question about your assignment and so on?
No.
No, ah?
No for that.
For those who have not joined the Google invite, accept my invitation so that you can access the materials. So next time, next week onwards, sit in front, only 50 plus. So sit in front. No need to sit at the back. 51 only, so satu. You prefer to go for face-to-face replacement class or online? Which one? Prefer face-to-face or online? Dulu. Huh? Hey, another one. Who is a class program rep?
Oh,
That may be
Yes.
my handphone number. I think all of you
Sini lah.
actually got my handphone number. Just that I think
Kau
you
surat
didn't
nak
realize.
kau cakap sini. Si Jeno, lekas surat sisi. Ha.
是为什么还会被写上呢？
Okay,
我们的
I am
holiday
giving you
是
my
2月
phone number here.
入学
It's
的 test
actually
的时候，我们几乎全部人都选它了。
okay. It's actually inside the group created by Miss Martina. I was
就
there.
因为期间比较
Okay.
卫生嘛。
So if you want to message me, you can message, but if you call me, normally I will answer lah. Tell you the truth lah, normally I will answer. Except I know who I actually know lah. Okay. So who is the program rep lah? Ada kat sini tak? Program rep?
No, tak ada.
Tak ada.
Dia pergi jadi volunteer.
Oh. What is his name?
Hah?
What is his name?
期间
Oh, 期间。
I also don't know the name.
Oh, 期间。
Okay. Inside your class?
Hmm?
He's inside your class.
Yeah, he is
Can
in
ask
that.
him to message me so
Okay.
that I know his phone number, that tell me that he's class rep.
Okay.
The program rep. Class rep for group one? Who is the class rep? Then each of you will have class rep, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I will handle group one only. Miss Martina will handle group 2 and group 3 for tutorial and practical. Okay? So later I will take the group 1 class rep. Program rep, I need, if I say I want to ask about replacement class and so on, I will just message the program rep. Okay? So ask him to message me, yeah? This is my phone number. Okay? How many was not here? I hope that you didn't sign for your friends, huh?
definitely not.
I know that some of you will do that, okay? But for my class, for me, I still get close to eyes, but for other lecturers, don't do that. Because if they catch you, you will be called for, first you will be given the warning, second you will be called for disciplinary hearing. So don't do that, okay? If you are sick, take MC, then apply online. I will be the one who's actually approving your replacement. Okay? But take MC. If you are sick, take MC. No MC, I cannot do that. Just so that you know. If you go for driving test, whatever, you just request a letter. Then you can approve. Because I know some of you go for MUEC, go for the driving test and so on. Make sure that got evidence. If no evidence, your leave will be rejected. Okay, and another one is, you know about the leave, total leave for academic year, right? Total will be 14 you know. You have to join any competition earlier, submit it. MC of course lah, you take MC, you cannot submit. But must be 1 week earlier. If you know the date of the competition, whatever that you have to say, okay, submit it. 1 week. Okay, I think that's all lah. Okay? Can I? We proceed lah. I try to go, but this one a lot also, 50 plus because this chapter 1 mostly will be asked for about the theory questions and so on, chapter 1. Okay, so how to say, if you refer to the past year questions, okay, there are parts of this chapter asked in the past year questions. Okay, so let's look at the chapter 1 for our lecture today. On Thursday, we will go for Z schema already, Z language already. So, starting chapter 2 onwards will be about designing using Z schema. This one is general about formal methods. Okay? So, as I told you just now, formal methods is actually approach. So, in this chapter, you are going to learn about general things about formal methods. Okay, general things about formal methods. So I put here one of the quote here. Why every software engineering students need to learn formal methods, because you are, the word there is engineering. Even though the in front is software engineering, but the second word is engineering. Okay, so when you see the word engineering there, meaning that you must know about mathematics. You must have a good knowledge in mathematics, because it's a part of engineering. It's actually how to say, this is part lah. Easier to say, it's a part of engineering, but it's more towards software. Okay, so that's why when people say software engineering, when you go for software engineering, when you start or when you choose software engineering, you must have in your mind what is actually the things that you can do in software engineering. You know what you are going to do later or not? As a software engineer, do you know or not? When you choose this course, is it because I want to do, because the word software engineering or not really. When you see the word software engineering, the word that's software, meaning that your aim or your job later is to make sure that, okay, when you want to deliver the software to the customer, to the clients, to the stakeholder, it must be quality software. That is your job. So in order for you to submit this or to provide this to them, you have to make sure that everything here before that are actually on the right track, are correct. So that is software engineering. Means that when you learn software engineering, you learn analysis, design, right, testing, maintenance and so on, right? Those are the places that you learn. So actually you, after you graduate later, you can choose which area that you want. Okay, you can be developer, you can be system analyst, you can be designer, you can also become the software tester. And also you can also be the project manager. But of course project manager cannot be fresh grad. Normally you have a few years experience to be the project manager. So what you are studying now is actually to be all this, so that when you work in a company, you can actually guide other people, for example, or you actually, that person will actually make sure that the system that you deliver to the clients, to the customer, are actually quality software. Not something that cincang-cincang, okay lah, just submit. No, it's actually submit. That's why you learn requirement lah, you learn how to design lah, you learn later how to do testing, how to manage project and so on. You are going to learn every phase. Okay, so because you will be in all of this, it's up to you. Later, which one you prefer to be, so you can be. You can also be the developer. But of course, this program we didn't teach you a lot of programming. Okay, but you have to find your own time to learn programming if you want to be the developer. Okay, so meaning that, okay, if I say you want to be developer, you are going to learn a few languages, but it's not going to be a lot. So if you want to be developer, you take your time. You have only the semantics different. But the way to write if else statement, looping, everything will be the same. You know the concept, then you can learn other ones. Okay? So that is actually why we say you are software engineers later. At the end, you are going to produce quality product. Okay? So even though you are talking about phases here, one of the approach in software engineering, especially if you are working in a company, big company, where this company develop critical system, like something that will deal with human life. People may die if you produce software which got errors and so on. So if you are working in that area of job, okay, so most probably you have to learn mathematics because there are another approach in order for you to make sure that the system are very good and correct and so on. You cannot just use UML only. No, it's not enough. You have to go for another approach. So this is where you learn in the formal method. Okay, where another approach is what we call as formal approach. Okay, formal approach. So that is a part of software engineering also. That's why the title of this course is Formal Methods for Software Engineering. But we are not going to learn a lot of formal method. The title here, Formal Method for S, actually I need to teach you a lot. But I don't think I can teach you a lot in 14 weeks of study. So that's why I choose one formal method. So that you have an idea of what kind of formal method that we are talking about. Okay, so when we talk about formal method, there are two views that you have to know. One as a pure maths, but we are not going to concentrate on pure maths. We are going to concentrate on a branch of software engineering because that is a part of software engineering where you still use mathematics, but you are in the software engineering parts where you design the system, relate your mathematics knowledge towards the system. Not just mathematics, you learn discrete maths, you learn mathematics plus minus all those. You know that is mathematics. That is pure maths. But you didn't link that to the system. Now in your formal method here, the formal method that we are going to go for our subject here is actually towards software engineering, where you have a system, then you use mathematics with the system. How to make sure that whatever that you want to produce here, you can show using mathematical notation. Okay, so we are going to go for these parts for our course today, for our course here. Okay, so when we talk about software engineering, of course, I think all of you know, remember what is software engineering phases. So the one that we are going to do in our program here will be more on the analysis part. There are other parts, okay, where you go for the verification part and so on. But the one that we are going to concentrate in this course will be the analysis part, the requirement parts. Okay, the requirement wherever that you gather, the requirements that you gather from the clients, from the customers and so on. How are you going to translate this into mathematical notation? Okay, so we are going to do this part in our course for this semester course, for this course. Okay, we are going to go for analysis part only. Okay, so what is actually the definition? So here I put a lot of definition, but what I want to tell you general, just remember that when we talk about formal method, the general definition is one, you use mathematical notation. Okay, you have to say mathematical notation. That is formal method. If you don't say mathematics, it can be UML, can be other things. So when we talk about formal method, one of the things that you need to remember, mathematical techniques or mathematical notation. That is one of the keyword that I will look into. If let's say this question, I ask you, what is formal method? So the first keyword that I will see, mathematical techniques or mathematical notation. The word mathematics must be there. Okay, the word mathematics must be there. Okay, what actually you are going to do here, you are going to use logic. Logic and set theory lah. Logic you know lah. Logic you know right? Less than, greater than, if set theory, subset of, intersection doing all those things. Okay, so another thing that you are going to do here is more on the logic. Okay, doesn't matter you use formula or not, but you are going to use logic in your statements later. Okay, set theory and so on. You're going to use that. Okay, these are the second thing. And then another thing also that you may, you may put also inside this is actually for this course, I'm talking about this course because you are talking about analysis. So you are actually trying to specify the system. You are not going to do something like coding, whatever. No coding, we are not going to do coding in this course. You are going to specify the requirements. Okay, specify the requirements. Okay, so even though you look here, I put a lot of things because this one I take from different books and so on. The definition. But the most important is actually mathematical notation using logic. Even you use formula, but this formula also need to use logic. Okay, and then set theory and so on to specify the system for our function. Okay, this is actually definition from Encyclopedia of Software Engineering. Also, you can refer to this. Also, definition. Okay, so you see mathematics. Okay, and then you use to specify because this is related to software engineering. There is also develop and verify. This one because they are going beyond the formal verification. But because for our course, I say specify because we are going to concentrate on formal specification. Okay, so for this one, you have specify and verify. And then another thing that for the software engineering definition, they put also the language that you are going to use. So in our course here, the language that we are going to use we call as Z specification language. Okay, we call as Z specification language. So these are the language that we are going to use in our program. Okay. So why it is useful? Okay, people will say, is it useful or not? Actually, formal methods are very useful, but not widely used, to tell you the truth. Okay, it's very useful, but not widely used. Okay, why it is useful? Because we use mathematics, logic. So, true, false, yes, no, right or wrong, right? You don't have the middle answer. Maybe, no, you don't have. So, it's either correct or wrong. So when you do this, you can actually say that when you put something, this statement is wrong. You can say that this statement is correct. So people will say, is this correct or wrong? No, we won't have this kind of scenario when we talk about formal method. So it is very useful, especially, why I put especially here. Just now I told you about critical system. The system that involves human life, safety of human means that people may die if you didn't develop the system correctly. So, if you want to produce something which are very safe to human, you may need to use formal methods together with other approach. You must add this as another approach to help. Okay, it's very useful. Because it's logic. If the answer is yes, correct means correct. If the answer is wrong means then you have to do checking. Okay? And then of course what we are going to do in our course is specify the system. Okay, there are also design data and then verification, but we are not going to go under this part. We are going to concentrate on our course here in formal specification as I told you just now. Okay, and then early error detection. This is the one that I told you just now, critical system. If let's say you go for you are in the team to build critical system, is good for you to have another approach. Does not mean that you go for Z language. It's up to the system because you have many formal methods in the world. Okay, it's not Z language only. So it's up to the company. formal methods that they want to use. But you must have the knowledge of that to produce the system. Okay? So that is actually why is it useful. Also, another thing is that when you go for formal methods, it also helps you to boost confidence for your clients. Means that when you show to them, you have to show to them some things what you have, the progress and everything of your system and so on. So when you use formal methods, actually, you can say that, oh, we have done this testing, especially the testing part. Okay, the testing we have done, the testing with formal method and so on. We actually can confirm that nothing here. So from there, they are confident with the system that you are developing at that time. Okay, so it's a part of it. Okay, so you can also do all these things. Okay, provide understanding and so on. One of the usefulness of formal methods. One of the usefulness. Another one also, this one is general. As general formal method, I didn't say specifically to one formal method. So another one is overall quality. Because remember, our aim for software engineering is to produce quality product. Okay? So one of the usefulness of your formal method is to make sure that you can say that at the end of your part of your work that you can produce quality product. Okay, so this is a part that you can say clearly to your clients when you go for formal methods. Okay, especially if let's say you go for critical system, because you have done a lot of testing here and there, then you can say, oh, we have done testing here, nothing occur here. Okay, we have done here, nothing. Okay, so that is actually a part that you can say confidently to your clients. Okay. Of course, earlier detection just now. Okay, so because when you detect the error earlier, it's easier for you to change it or update it. Remember when you go for your software engineering, the two phases each takes longer compared to others. If you really do it well, will be analysis and design phase. These two are very long. Actually, if you want to produce a very good system, these two phases should be longer compared to other phases. Actually, okay, because when you go for analysis, you gather requirement. You gather requirement, you have to make sure that the requirements gathered from the clients, from the customer, must be correct. Okay, must be understood clearly. They say something to you, you understand wrongly, salah already, then you produce wrong system. So that's why the analysis most of the time will be one of the longest phase in your software engineering phase. The second phase is design. Because you design, then you have to show to your clients. Clients say, no, prototype, no, not this one, change color, change here. Longer. Because you can go for prototype. Prototype is one part of the design also. So, may take longer also. Okay, but when it comes to the real development, if these two phases are actually correct already, it means I cannot say 100% correct lah. That one, no system can be 100% correct. But if let's say you can say 99% correct, for example, when you proceed with the development, it's easier for the developer to develop. Just follow whatever you design and so on. Can simply easy for you to develop. Of course, there will be problem with maybe error. That one is programming error, different. But if you have all the design correct, your development will be faster compared to other. If your analysis and design are wrong, your development have to go back a few times. So it will be tedious. Okay? Then after you have developed, then you do testing and so on. So it's faster. Okay? So when you find flaws earlier, it's actually very useful. Okay? Of course, remember, formal method is not for every system. Okay? Formal method is not for every system. It's good if you want to do for formal method, but it's not for every system. Okay? I will tell you why it is not for every system later after So there's the symbols that you have to use and so on. Okay. Also, formal method we have model for competition. For example, you will see later what we call as proof checking. Means that model checker and so on. So there's a software, okay, that you can simulate the system. Okay, and then of course you will go for modularized. This one, like what you learn in your OOP, or even the software engineering or assignment. Also, you have to go for modules, right? So same thing here. You can also go for method where you go for this one. Total function later you will learn about this because when you come to the end of the semester, your final part of your assignment is total function. Okay, so another term is what we call as complete function. Okay, so you will do this part, and of course you use axioms and definition in your formal.
起初呢是有那个
Okay, so what we are going to do for our formal method, we are going to go for this one. But actually formal method is not this part only. We are doing for our course only formal specification.
是这样的
Okay, but for the formal method, okay, there is also formal verification. This one normally will be more on the testing phase, not for we are not going to go for this one. But I will just go through in chapter 1 what are actually under formal verification that you may do. If let's say you want to learn more, you may read more about that. Okay, so for formal method, as I told you just now, we are going to use mathematical notation, set theory, logics, algebra, and so on. Okay, so there are levels of formal method that we are going to do. Okay, level. So for us, okay, we are going to go for first level. Means that do formal specification. Okay, if you want to go for design, the actual design phase, you can go for this one. Okay, for this one also can go up to the testing phase. Okay, so the last part here, normally if your system is a safety critical system, so normally you have to do the last part with theory. Okay, but for our assignment, we will go only the first level only, just for more specification. We are not going to do a verification. We are not going to do. But of course, you are going to learn a little bit about refinement lah. But it's I cannot say like 100% refinement, but it's a part of this refinement. Okay, but we are not going to do verification for this. Okay, so that is actually what we are going to do in our assignment. So formal specification, because we are going to concentrate on formal specification. Just now I say formal method general. So now I concentrate on formal specification only. So what is formal specification? You are doing what rather than how. Okay, so you are doing what you are doing. You want to add client, you want to add customer, you want to remove customer. That is what you are doing. But how, we don't care. Like programming, right? You have to write here, move to here, whatever. That one is how. We are not thinking about that. We are thinking in terms of, oh, I want to add customer into database. That is what. Okay, so that is what you are going to do in your assignment, and also when you go to tutorial and so on, we are going to look into that. We are going to look at what rather than how. How means that if I want to add customer here, then maybe I need to see whether let's say this customer information, whatever. Maybe there are something that you have to do, something like coding. You have to do something, a lot of things checking whether the name, format name must be this, format IC must be that. That is how. Okay, we are not going to do IC must have without dash, with dash, name must be character. We are not going to do that. Okay, your definition later will show you whether it's number or character. But we don't care whether you use Times New Roman, you use what Arial, we don't care. Okay, that is in terms of how. Okay, we don't care. Okay, and then because it's formal specification, you are going to use formal specification language. So the one that we are going to use for our course will be about relation lah, many to many, one to many, all those things lah. Okay, you are going to show that in your Z later. Okay, and then abstraction. For our abstraction here, we are going to concentrate on modular. We are not going to go too detailed. Abstraction here, we are going to go for analysis abstraction. We are not going to go for design where you have to think how the programmer will act this. No, no, we are not going to go for that. We are just go for analysis abstraction only. So it means that I want to add customer, how to add them, that's all. We don't care how to choose this, how to choose no, we are not going to do all specific, just as general. Okay, and then we don't care when you add customer that I told you just now, the type of IC must not have dash, number, or maybe the length of the IC, you don't care about that. Okay, so that is actually abstraction that we are going to do for our course. Okay, and then you can do other things with your formal specification, but for Z later is specific only. We are going to go for in terms of functional behavior for Z, because different formal methods have different functionality, different way of doing things. So for Z, we concentrate on the functional, how the system behaves. Okay? So there are two activities when we talk about formal specification, modeling and design. Okay? So model Z, we are going to use mathematical modeling here. Okay? So of course we are not going to have code. Don't think about writing code. That's why you see in the Google Classroom, I haven't explained to you about Z, like Z software just now. Okay, so that one we are going to use only that. Okay, so because for Z, there's no coding here in this course. Don't ask me when are we going to write code for this one. No, there's no coding for this one. Just using Z language. Okay, so this is modeling phase. This is modeling phase. Analysis phase. Modeling is analysis. So you have partition and refinement. All these actually you are going to learn in Z later. So you don't have to worry what is this and what is that. Just that the term here you already seen in other subject. Just that this term I need to use again in our course, in our subject. Okay? And then I just want to explain also in terms of verification as general, because later I will explain again about formal verification. I will not go in detail about this. Just that I put here in chapter 1 for you to know only. Okay? No basis only. So formal verification is different from formal specification. You see the word also, one is specified, one is verified. Specified means you specify the requirement, whereas verify you confirm correct or not correct and so on. So it's verified. So formal verification normally you will see during end of design or early or during the testing phase. Okay, end of design or during your testing phase. That is formal verification. Okay, formal specification during your analysis phase. Okay, that is formal specification. Formal verification during end of the design or early or during the testing phase. Okay, I know that you haven't learned about design, you haven't learned about testing yet. So maybe you don't have idea what is that. But actually, formal verification is to check whether the systems are correct. That is the purpose of the formal verification. Means you want to verify correct or not. Okay? So here proving or disapproving of your correctness. Okay. So why actually, if let's say you want to go for formal verification, okay, if you are actually developing safety critical system. For safety critical system, remember I told you you have to go all the way because it's involved human life. So you must go all the way to the end. Okay, so one of it, if you are doing safety critical system, you need to go for formal verification. Okay? Sometimes you have embedded system. Okay, it's up to what you are doing. Okay, for example, engineering, right? They have embedded system that they develop. So it's good for you to have formal verification. So, because embedded system also safety critical. Okay, so make sure that if you are doing later when you go to book later, you are in this area of system that you have to develop and so on, is good for you to learn from the method. But not Z is more on the what are the formal methods that the company are using at that moment. Okay, so that is actually formal verification. So how to make sure that you apply formal verification? There are two ways to do that. It's either you do model checking or theorem prover. These two. Okay, so theorem prover can be semi-auto. Means that you have a software to help you, but some of the information must be done manually by the user. Means by the designer or the tester. So they have to add the information manually. So it's semi-auto. That is theorem prover. Means that you want to check whether this, similar like you do mathematics left hand side is equal to right hand side. Okay? Whatever samaan serentak, whatever what you did last time, right? So same thing as theorem prover, you want to prove that this is the same as this. Okay, so there may be some of the logic that you have to enter there. So that's why it is semi-auto. Okay, you can put all the information into the system, but this information is you are the one who give the information into the system. Then you generate you simulate the scenario and so on, then you get the result. That is theorem prover. Whether correct or not is up to the one that you enter. Okay, similar like you do testing. Later when you go, I'm not so sure whether software engineering last time you learn a little bit about software testing, right? Okay, you learn what is the actual result, what is the expected result, right? Just you enter the input here, what is your expected result? That's your actual result. So same thing like theorem prover. You have the expected result, what is your actual result? Okay, whether correct or not. So similar. Okay, means that it's like halfway lah. Similar like testing where you can use manually or you can use software to do unit testing. Okay, you can use software. Okay, so that is theorem prover. We call it as theorem prover. Okay, but when you go for model checker is 100% automatic. Okay, 100% automatic. Okay, this is the explanation about the for the theorem proof just now, formal proofing just now. So you can read about this. So for model checker is 100% automatic. Okay, why it is automatic? What is 100% automatic? Because the model checker is like you do simulation. Similar like you do simulation. What you are doing here, you are actually checking all possible result. Okay, all possible result. Means that you want to know all the one that, let's say you write code, you want to check every possible path that you have. So it cannot be done manually by the user. Okay, it cannot be done manually by the user. So it is fully automated. So when you do fully automated, you run the system. Of course, there will be some, some rules that you have to follow and so on. So you use the software, it will simulate for you. Okay, it will simulate for you. When it is simulate for you, it will produce you the result. From there, you know whether it's your design or your system that you have developed there can be totally, proof that is correct, or a lot of problem occur later. Okay, so because you are going to check every possible route or whatever path there, it cannot be done by human. Okay, so that's why for model checker, you need to use or to use as fully automated. Okay, compared to theorem prover just now, because similar like testing, you can do manually. You can also use software to help you. Software help you, of course, like you have input, expected result, and so on. Similar like testing. So from there you know, oh, I put this, expected this one, but I got this one. Then you know something wrong in between there. Okay, so it's actually semi-automated. Okay, that's theorem prover. But when it comes to model checker, because this part is verification, you really need to, especially for the safety critical, you need to check everything. Okay? So you go for model checker, then you want to check every possible part. It's not possible for human to do it. So that's why it's 100% fully automated software. Okay? So a lot of approach, you can read about this. I will not tell you in detail about the model checker. There are a lot of approach there. So the most general approach that you see here is what we call as temporal model checking and automated model checking. That is way up on how to do that. Okay, so this one I will not go in detail for you to understand the methodology because we are not going to go in detail about this part. Okay, and then if you want to find, you want to test lah, you can see lah. There are a lot of model checker on the website. You can try and have a look on that lah. Okay, so a lot. I just give you a few examples here. You can find other model checker in the internet. Okay, a lot. There are a lot. Okay, so it's not normally it's not manual. Very difficult. Okay, very difficult. Okay, so we are going to go for Z language later when we go for formal specification. Okay, as I told you, what? Okay, so these are actually general feature of the language. Must be semantics, expressive. You are going to have data types later. I will explain to you how to do data types, similar like programming. And then we are going to go for diagrammatic notation. And then there are syntax. Okay, so these are actually about the formal language, formal specification language. So there are a lot. I didn't list down all here. I just take some. Okay, the one that we are going to go is Z for this course. Okay, another popular for the learning is actually VDM. Okay, Vienna Development Method, also one of the popular specification language to teach the students about formal methods. But we are going to go for Z. Okay, Z specification language. They have others a lot. You can look from the internet. I didn't put all here just for you to understand that there are a lot. And then this formal specification language is not one criteria only. So they can be actually split up into two different approaches. One, model-based approach. Another one is property-based approach. Okay, so it's not up to approach here means how they use the mathematics to solve the problem. That is the approach. Okay, so for Z, okay, we are actually going for model-based approach. Model, Z is model-based approach. So meaning that you are going to have diagrammatic notation. Okay, the above part is what we call as the variable declaration. The middle part is called Z statements and so on. So the approach is to model the system. Okay, you are going to model the system, and then inside there you are going to look at the behavior also of using mathematical notation. Okay, so in the model base here, you can see clearly. If I want to add customer, there's a statement to add customer. You can see clearly how to add customer. That is model base. Okay, how to remove the customer, how to update the customer information. You can see clearly. That is model base. Okay, so also inside there later you are going to learn about precondition and postcondition. Before you can proceed, what will be the statements that you have to check after you add, what happened after that. So this is what we call as pre and post condition. Okay, so model based. So your Z falls under model based specification. Okay, you are going to model. So all these you will see clearly when I told you about state space, when I told you about initial state, when I told you about operation states and so on. Because all these are actually what we call as state schema. So it's actually from the state. Okay, so now of course you don't see clearly what is state because you didn't see clearly what is that. But it is a model based approach. Okay, Z is a model based. Okay, so of course you are going to use logic. This one you cannot run away from that. set theory, logic, algebra, all those things you will learn. You will put that. Okay, you will use it inside your Z meter. Okay, and then later also, when you use Z meter, you are going to think similar like you write program actually. Like you learn C or C++ last time, right? You learn C, C++ last time, right? You are not going to write C, C++. I don't say you are going to write C or C++ again. I know that maybe one year plus ago, I cannot remember the syntax already. But the way to write, you have variable declaration, you have statement, mathematics to add, remove, whatever, right? All these you need to do. Okay? You need to do step by step. Okay? So you are going to have data structure here. Okay? So this one I will tell you how to declare a string, number, similar like your program, float, double, all those things, right? We are not going to use float double, we are going to use different thing here. Okay, and then operation here, how to add the customer and so on. So all this will be explained to you starting Thursday lecture. Okay, chapter 2. Okay, so these are actually example of how you are going to show states. So start sending all this here. So this one you will see clearly when you go for Z language tutor lah. Okay. So our Z lah. So even though it is model based, does not mean that all will be sequential. So Z is a sequential model based specification. You have also concurrent for real time system and so on. You cannot use Z. Z is sequential. Okay, Z is sequential. Means step by step. That's why I say C or C++ because sequential. You want to call function, you want to sequential, step by step. Okay, so that is sequential. Z is actually same as C or C++. But concurrent and so on more on the real-time system and so on. Okay, model based, but it's more on the concurrent system. Okay, so we are not going to go for this one. Okay, property based is different a little bit. You are going to go. Have you learned data structure algorithm? Yes, yeah, learn already, right? So you learn linked list, you learn all those things, right? Trees and so on, right? So actually, there is something like property based, more on looking at the address, like how to get this, move to here, move to there. That is property based. Okay, I'm just talking in terms of programming here for you to understand clearly the difference between property based and model based. Okay? Property more on the operation. How you want to move this to here? How to, of course, you use mathematics. I cannot say that into mathematics is actually similar. Use Asian mathematics similar. But how to think of the difference between model and property based is in terms of how you access the data. Model straightforward. No hidden. I want to add customer. You add customer. That's all. That is model based. But when it comes to property, you look. Okay, I have this data. I want to move this data to here. How to move this data to here? From this data, I want to times with this. How to do that? Okay, so that is more on the property based. Okay, so we are not going to go for property based for our Z. Okay, so the different. I don't want to tell in terms of the terms here lah, because sometimes very confusing. Okay, so these are the type of property based. We are not going to go for this one. Okay, so this is also the difference of operation of how you want to do something with your properties. Okay, this benefit is similar like just now, just that more on the detail of usefulness and also benefit will be similar. You can combine this reason to answer any kind of related information, error, early detection, error code, all those things lah. Okay, effective test cases if let's say you go for formal verification. Okay, and then correctness and so on. This one is similar like just now. Just that I put here to show separately, but it's actually similar. When you talk about usefulness and also benefits, the same thing. Okay, you can interchange. How to say? The answer for these two can be used in both parts of your notes and so on. Okay, but as I told you, okay, even though it's a very useful to use formal method, but it's not really used in our real life system. It's not really used a lot. Yeah. One of it because of the, even though it can show you correctness and so on, if we talk in terms of, let's say I'm talking about industry, I'm talking about industry. One of it, okay, one of the reasons, you can see the answer here also can relate. Just that I just explained as general, okay, if we are talking about real life system, okay, our system nowadays, more towards online system, mobile system, right? Okay, this mobile system or online system won't affect human life. Cannot work. Let's say, server down. Are you going to die because of server down? Nothing, right? Not affecting you at all. You just say, server down, I cannot do anything. That's all. Not affecting the human being life. Okay, so because a lot of our system nowadays is actually deal with a lot of online system, mobile system. So it's not really important to use format. Okay, it's not important to use format. Okay, and of course another one is we can see that when you do for example, design, right? So you use prototype. You have heard about prototype, right? Use prototype. When you do prototype, okay, the clients will see can visualize the system straight away. Because you use prototype, normally you show the interface already. Okay, you show the interface. So the clients, when they see your prototype, they can visualize what happened or what is going to be your product later. Okay, so from here, they can actually update you instantly. Oh, this color is not nice. This color, this button is too big. Make it smaller. I want this to go from here to here. They can instantly tell you the improvement that they want from the system. So fast requirement from the clients. Okay, when you have fast requirement like that, okay, it's very difficult if you want to go for formal method. Yeah, so that is another part that you can talk about why not many people use formal method. Okay, even though formal method can go for correctness or completeness, but because of there are other way of improving your system, like prototype just now, so that's why it's not popular to use formal method. Okay, so correctness, all these things. Also, one of the reasons why formal method is actually not really used because you use mathematics. If you are software engineer, you are not mathematician. There are things that you have to, if you want to go for formal method, your mathematics language must be very high standard. Okay, your mathematics language must be very high standard to do this. So I don't think a lot of software engineer all over the world, with very good mathematics knowledge. You have a software engineer with that, but I don't think all software engineer after you graduate have this knowledge. So that's why one of it is because of the limitation in our knowledge, we didn't go for formal methods. Okay, so that is one of it. Okay, and then another one is in terms, I put here cost and time. Okay, I put cost and time. Sometimes when clients come to see your company, can you deliver the system within 6 months? Oh, 6 months. Okay, so that is your requirement. Okay, so one of it is if you go for formal methods, you cannot deliver within that time. Because your formal method take longer because you need to use mathematics. So it will take longer during your analysis phase. So you may not deliver the system within 6 months as requested by the clients. Okay, so there is another limitation. Cost also. Cost also because if you don't have the knowledge, okay, if you don't have the knowledge of the, mathematics, you may need to hire professional. If you hire professional, of course, it will be a bit costly lah. Okay, a bit costly. So that is some of the limitation that you can have here lah. Okay, so these are the things that I explained just now related to the limitation just now. And then these are actually something that maybe if you have time, ask yourself, do we really need formal methods? Okay, but for me actually, we need formal method, especially for safety critical, but not for normal system. Okay? So was one formal method superior to another? We cannot say that because different type of formal method is to assess different type of system. Okay, and then other questions maybe you can find the answer. Okay? Any question about this? So normally chapter 1 is theory question. So can be asked in your test, can be asked in your final. Okay? So I will not tell you. Yes, I tell you that it's theory question can be asked in your test or in your final. Okay? Any question?
No.
So on Thursday lecture, we will start with Z schema already. Okay. One thing that I just want to inform you. Google Classroom. Just the final part before I end the class today. Okay, so in the Google Classroom, I already put here your syllabus. Okay, course plan if you want to refer. One of it is this one. Okay, we are going to use this software, ZWord Tools. Okay, if you have Microsoft Word. If you don't have Microsoft Word, you can go for Z Editor. Okay, there's no coding needed for this course. Okay, but we are going to use this to write our Z schema. Okay, so download this if you have Microsoft Word, install, then you can see maybe in the lab later I will show you